what eventually vanished without anyone realizing it. I'm very lucky. We were close with our neighbors at our former home, where we raised our sons, so lots of kids and parents in and out. Chats at the bus stop, school functions, BBQs, etc. We retired out of state and lucked out with great neighbors again, friendly, and we spend time together. But no one is in anyone else's business, always around to help out if needed though. They were a lifesaver to me, and my wife passed in 2022. I value the occasional check-in now that I'm older too. Our need to know who our neighbors are. I listened to a podcast about human interaction recently, and the host said that the internet slowly made it possible to live without knowing who the people are next door. It used to be that we would hang out with people in our street or attend dinners, birthdays, and whatnot. Now, everyone seems to have no need to even so much as introduce themselves. The only time we do get to know each other is if we have a complaint. In Lafayette, LA, home of Cajun cooking and amazing fresh seafood, a Red Lobster opened too much fanfare in the 90s. Sometime later it vanished. I don't think anyone ever went after it as the initial got to try it outburst. At some point it was closed for years, and the media announced a new locally and placed moving into the long-vacated Red Lobster. All my friends and family were amazed corporate tried to open down here. Kindness, amicability, empathy, and unity. It seems those virtues gave way to the everyone for themselves mentality over time. And because we barely know our neighbors, you have to buy one of everything instead of being safe in the knowledge. At gym 6 doors down has exactly what you need, and you can borrow it anytime. Living wages. Mandated 90 tax on the rich after unlocking the ultimate prize of winning at life for forever. Politicians who aren't also landlords and owners of Subway, Panera restaurants, and with vested interests in the stock market and therefore creating laws to take care of themselves instead of their voters. You know. I know almost all of my neighbors, and when I happen to run into them, we're all on a friendly basis. However, I have no desire to be friends with any of my neighbors. People are strange, and I don't want to know how strange my neighbors are. Kinda surprised I haven't seen this one yet. But Ronald McDonald. You remember the old clown everywhere in and around McDonald's commercials and stores, gone, phased out when that clown scare prank trend was going around. To talk about the evergreen shit thing that happened back in 2021 had sorta disappeared and wasn't really talked about too much among people until the Baltimore Bridge collapse thing had happened. Movies on actual films stock at the cinema. One day I realized that all the films I see at the cinema must be digital, but I never noticed the transition. I never noticed the first digitally projected film I saw. Antennae toppers. I was a kid of the 90s. Fast food places used to sell antennae toppers of Jack in the Box heads or the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener. The last time I was one was probably 20 years ago. I'm just someone's fantasy. Someone's random thought that was able to live and eat. I'm already gone, so this is just the afterimage. Said I know, but I will live or whatever afterimages chew. The ivory-billed woodpecker vanished without a trace. Once thought extinct. Occasional sightings have sparked hope, but despite efforts and new technologies, its existence remains unconfirmed. Quality mobile games. We went from well-made games like Clash of Clans, Temple Run, Brawl Stars and FIFA to these weird, sometimes oddly sexual, minimalistic, poorly made games. Bro, this is going to make me sound like an alcoholic, but there was a beer called Miller Fortune. It was high ABV and appealed to whiskey drinkers. It was my go-to beer, just showing up to someone's house for a visit. I remember growing up and having my parents' friends randomly roll up the driveway and stay for an hour or two to visit. Thankfully, the Paul brothers ... occasionally some hype and Jake fight someone, but their god-awful fan service YouTube channel has been quiet since the pandemic. Rage comics. They were all over the front page of Reddit 10 years ago. Then at some point everyone just decided they were done with them. Also, Remember those silver pillars which showed up in various random locations? Was it art? Was it aliens? Was it aliens doing art? Honing our tech software. Everything is a subscription now. Even programs that used to be a one-time payment like Adobe Photoshop. Pokémon Go, you'll remember the first week of that game releasing. It was probably the closest thing to world peace we ever had. Kids just playing outside. Sure, once in a while I see some kids playing. Not nowhere near how it used to be. Owning stuff. I think pretty soon we are going to be leasing our underwear if things keep going the way they are. Classified newspapers. We used to get them on our driveway every week, but they haven't been delivered in years. Visible antennas on our mobile phones, or using their screens for light. Since they all have a flashlight now. Privacy and anonymity. Every step, every search, every message, every word just about is captured somewhere. Nokia ... the biggest mobile phone manufacturer in the world from the mid-90s. Until the iPhone happened. Our current bananas are being wiped out by a fungus, so bananas will taste differently in a couple years. That black book of Epstein's, lots of names in there. There weren't any arrests and nobody talks about it. Physical copies of video games, for PC. Last few PCs I've had didn't even come with a CD DVD drive. Jumping rope. I don't ever see kids at schoolyards or anywhere doing double dutch. Miss those days. Pretty much every political scandal. Wiener slept with a spy ... Everyone outraged, they're nothing. Payphones, cell phones slowly killed them. Then all of a sudden, very quickly in the 2000s, the American dream of affording a house, kids, college, retirement, all on a single 9-5 job. A shared common reality that isn't warped into something nefarious by right-wing grifters. Black Lives Matter and the enormous amount of money given it. Bernie's 2020 campaign. White dried up dog poop. They stopped putting bone meal or something in the foods. Salmon. I mean, not yet, but soon. And we are all gonna realize real quick. Fruit punch Arizona in cans. Now you have to buy them only from the big jugs. Murder hornets. Thought they were on the way. What did we exchange for that? The step pads that would open doors at the store. It's now motion sensor. Groups of kids playing outside. Feels like they disappeared after 2001. Unions, labor laws, for a plurality of Americans, weekends and vacation, common sense and courtesy. All anyone knows now is hate and distrust. Replaceable disposable batteries. Having to charge everything sucks. Actually owning something, every is a subscription. You own nothing. 10 years from now, Donald Trump. Please God, please God, please. Our control over the stuff we buy. I'm talking software mostly. I have an irrational fear that someday I'll vanish in medicine. Insects to a huge extent. Not corn, but dramatically fewer. Gigapets and benches for the homeless people to sleep on. Lightning bugs. Haven't seen any for years. Forms as well. Paper routes. Kids delivering newspapers on their bikes. Oldsmobile or a Buick. One of them. Don't remember which. Music stores where you actually went to go buy albums. Starbucks maple oat nut scones from the late 1990s.